We have Matt from Middlesboro. Hello, Matt from Middlesboro.
Hey, hey, you guys. How are you? I'm not on the phone. I'm actually on the Comrex unit. And, I'm very upset that Coach K, Bob Baffert, all that stuff, Brad Stevens, had to happen while I was off, but I'm glad to be with you here today.
It's great to hear your voice. How are you feeling, man?
Well, I feel good. I'm still a little tired from the last week and a half, but I feel good. You know, first of all, Shannon, you know how hard it is for me to come on a show and let Ryan be in charge of running it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like
yeah. I get
that
it.
in and of itself should tell you how much I've had to piece down a little bit.
Yeah.
That I'm going to let Ryan run the gig. But I just wanted to come on and tell people, A, that I'm okay, and to thank everybody for their really, really nice comments, prayers, thoughts. I mean, it's been really overwhelming and nice over the last few days. But also to kind of say what happened. You know, last time many of you heard me here, I was on the show trying to get through not having a voice. And Ryan, well, sorry, my voice isn't 100% yet. But you remember during that time, Ryan, you were with me on Tuesday of last week when I did Feinbaum, and I tried to drink a lot of water. Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, you were just chugging it down to try to help your voice a little bit.
Well, people always say keep your voice lubricated. And so starting really on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I drank probably more water than I've ever drank in my life. Sitting back and looking at it, I didn't think of it in the time, but, Drew, I was drinking like 4 to 5 liters of water at least a day trying to keep my voice lubricated because I wanted to do Feinbaum. I hadn't done the Feinbaum show in so long. I didn't want to lose it because of my voice. And you may remember that it was kind of I was basically a fountain, as Nick Mingione would say, not a drain.
Yeah, that was probably 3 or 4 more liters of water than you had been drinking per day.
Yeah, I essentially replaced all the Diet Coke with water. So then it came Thursday night. We had the OVW show. I went out there because we had all these guests, and I felt like I needed to help coordinate that. And
Uh-oh. Did we lose you guys?
Uh-oh.
Oh, just lost
No,
Matt.
I'm here.
Okay.
We just lost Matt. Well,
Of all the times to have technical difficulties.
Really.
Well, welcome back to KSR, Matt. You come back on. We have technical difficulties. I'm sure he'll get reconnected, and we can pick up his story from there because he did want to come on today and explain what has happened and where he is now, and to thank everybody for their wishes and texts and tweets and everything that we were sending him the past couple days.
Yeah, and I'm really mad at the equipment right now. Probably not helping the blood pressure as he comes on for a serious conversation and it goes out. So this is on you, equipment, for the 1,000th time.
I mean, isn't that so KSR, though?
sorry.
I know it. It is.
Are you back with us, Matt?
He's trying.
Maybe he should have called in. He would have had a better success rate.
Well, Rick, just tell us, get us in our ear when he comes back, because I know he wants to finish talking about what he's been going through. And the main big takeaway is that he's home. He got released yesterday afternoon. He's home. Still, you can tell, kind of weak. His voice sounds a little weak, but he's going back on his feet now and doing better.
Yeah, I can imagine he's moving pretty slow after a week in the hospital. Anyone would, but everything I've heard, but doctors got him where he needed to be, and they have a plan moving forward, so should get him right back on the track when he gets some sleep.
Okay, we've got Matt back. Of course, Matt, welcome back to KSR and Technical Difficulties.
I've used this same piece of equipment for the last year and a half, and it literally just went out. I don't know how that's possible, but that's okay. Where was I when you lost me?
Talking about OVW on Thursday night. You went there. You tried to facilitate all the celebrity guests.
Yeah, so I was trying to get through with all the celebrity guests, and when I left there, I started feeling bad, and my left arm was really hurting, and I thought, to be quite frank with you, I thought I was having a heart attack. And it was very obviously scary. I went to the hospital, was not having a heart attack, but I was. Again? What'd you say?
No, that's you this time, Ryan. Keep going, Matt. We got you. Keep going.
All right. So, like I said, thought I was having a heart attack, wasn't. But I ended up having really high blood pressure, and then something that I didn't even know was possible, which is, Shannon, I had made myself water intoxicated.
I have heard of that.
So much water over 2 or 3 days and I hadn't really eaten, and I basically replaced all the Diet Coke that I drink with water. And I had drank so much water that it brought my sodium down to dangerously low levels. So they admitted me into the hospital with that, and then and blood pressure. And long story short, over the course of the next few days, they had a really difficult time getting my blood pressure under control. It would spike really high, go down, spike high, go down. And I ended up being in there a long time. And on Monday morning, they sort of woke me up and said, look, we can't wait anymore. We've got to get your blood pressure down. So I spent a couple days in the ICU where, through various forced methods, they basically got my blood pressure down and got me kind of back to normal. So, it was a very difficult time. I want to thank you guys for being my mom was keeping you up to date with what was going on, and you guys and Rachel and a couple of my friends came and it helped, but it was very scary. I got in a cycle of blood pressure being high, which gave me anxiety, which made my blood pressure high, which made my anxiety higher. And it was very difficult to get out of. But I did, and I'm feeling much better now. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that and knew that I was okay. I'm still going to need some rest and some time to kind of heal. I'm going to do the tour with you guys next week on a little different version. I'm going to go, but it's going to be a little bit different than normal. But for the rest of the week, I'm just going to try to kind of heal myself here.
Well, Ryan, are you still there? Go ahead.
Do you feel comfortable, or can you tell that story about yeah, I said, Matt, do you still feel comfortable telling that story about the blood pressure machine coming down the hallway?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's an experience that it's hard to describe. And one of the things I've tried to do on this show is say to people, the reason people like this show is because we are 100% honest about ourselves, both the things that are good, bad, easy, etc., are difficult. And so much of trying to get better for me was about trying to keep my blood pressure low. And I actually, during the whole time, felt okay. I didn't feel bad, but I knew that the blood pressure was an issue, and they would come and they would check my blood pressure every 4 hours. And it got to the point that I started, when I would hear the blood pressure machine coming towards my room, it would sort of, for lack of a better term, it would almost trigger me. I almost couldn't handle it. It would start giving me anxiety, which I'm sure made my blood pressure rise. And then they would take the blood pressure. I would see it. If it was high, I would worry about it for the next 4 hours until the next one. If it was low, I'd be okay for an hour, and then I'd worry about it for the next 3 hours. And it just it wasn't doing me any good. And the doctors I had were amazing, and I just want to thank them. Dr. Smotherman, Purdon, Jennings, there were a bunch of people working on it. Jarvis, they really were amazing with me. But they finally just said, look, this isn't working. And by getting me to the ICU, where I was in a more controlled environment, and they could bring it down in an easier way, it made it better. But it was also, when it was over, one of the things they said to me is, you got to change some stuff in your life. And for me, it wasn't so much eating. I don't eat great, but that wasn't the main thing. And it wasn't I don't smoke or drink. It wasn't any of that stuff. But for me, they just said it's stress. They said I've brought, a lot of stress on myself over the years, and I got to stop, and I got to find a way to sort of level off and, find a way to detach. Probably the biggest word is to detach. I love doing this show, and I'm going to keep doing it, and I love doing OVW and keep doing it and all that. But one of the things I've had a very difficult time with is when this show ends or when the things I'm doing end, I just can't turn it off. It stays in my head. I'm such a perfectionist. If I have a bad show, I worry about it. And then, I'll be honest, I think social media has been awful for me in that regard. It's been hard for me to turn it off. People, a lot of people are wonderful to me on there, but a lot of people are awful to me, and I take it personally. and it stays with me, and I fight with people, and I just have to stop because it literally is killing me. And, so this was a wake-up call in that regard, and I'm hoping to find, some peace through this to where I can do the things about this job I really like, which is doing this show with you all, which is, doing the restaurant, meeting fans, and all the things that you and I know that I like, but I've got to find a way to turn off a lot of the negative stuff. And you all, the three of you, know me very well. You know how hard that is for me. You know how stuff bothers me. And for my own health, I have to. I mean, there's no want to or need to. I have to. And I think that's going to be my task over the next year. I mean, obviously I need to eat better and exercise, and I will do all that. And I'm now on some blood pressure medication, which is good. And I want to thank the doctors. They didn't get me on crazy high blood pressure medication because they believed, I think correctly, that my problem was this cycle of anxiety and blood pressure that was putting it up. But they all agreed that I've got to find peace in this job that I love and not let, to be honest with you, what's a handful of people really bring me down. And that's my goal, and hopefully the three of you will be able to help me do that.
Dude, we got your back. We're going to walk here with you, whatever we can do to help you, relieve everything. You can count on us and all your circle of friends that have been in contact with you while you've been in the hospital. So we got you, man. Don't you worry about it.
Well, I really appreciate it. And listen, I want to say, thank you to you guys. Try not to get emotional because people don't want to listen to that. But I really, you all were, you guys all kept up with me. And right before I was about to check out yesterday, they finally told me I could go. I was sitting in the room with Rachel, and Shannon walked in. And I have to tell you, man, that really, it really helped. And so I do want to thank everybody who listened, because this was a really scary time, especially Monday morning. Ryan can tell you, he talked to my mom on Monday. Monday morning when they moved me to the ICU was probably as scared as I've ever been in my life. I kind of thought, I thought I was in some real danger, and I was. And you guys listening who sent me support, but also those who are close to me who reached out, I mean, it was all I could do to thank you. So I want to thank all the people at the hospital at Norton who really did help get me through it. But everybody else, I really appreciate it, and I look forward to getting back to it's. When I say get back to normal, I hope for the listener and for everybody that's part of the show, it is getting back to normal. But for me personally, it's about I have to get back to kind of a new normal, and I look forward to that. So I just wanted to say all that, and I appreciate you doing it, and I appreciate that my my stuff crapped out right as I was doing it to show that some things never
expect
change.
nothing
Welcome
less.
back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What else would you expect?
So the next time you guys will hear from me is Monday. When we do that tour across the state, they've asked for me to go on that tour. We can't do shows where crowds come. They want me to be just in a place where I can just sit and do the show with the guys. Now, we do want people to come take the vaccine, and that's the whole purpose of doing it. And if you do, I'd love to come say hi, et cetera. But I kind of can't put on the clown show that I do most of the time where I'm up and yelling. They want me to stay away from that for a little while, and I respect that. So just so people know when they come, I'd love for you to come and say hi, meet me, get a vaccine, meet us, et cetera. But I can't do kind of what we normally do on remotes for a little while. Hopefully I will be able to do that again, but I won't be able to for a while. So thank you guys for letting me say all that.
Yeah, man, just rest up this weekend because we got a big day Monday then at Dinosaur World with you when you come back to join us.
And let me just say, when I was laying in the ICU, sitting and thinking about what was next, all I could think about is I can't wait to go to Dinosaur World.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to go, and so it is a wonderful thing that the first remote back is at Dinosaur World.
Well, like I said, it's great to hear your voice. I think I speak for all three of us. We're very glad to hear your voice. Glad you're out. Glad you're home, back on your feet. Just rest up for a couple days, and we'll get it going then next week for you.
And let me say one more thing. I want to make sure to say, many of you over the years have actually become friends of mine sometimes through social media interactions and through et cetera. And I don't want you to feel like people can still feel free. People write me some of the nicest things on the text machine. They tell me about their families and about what the show means to them. And I want you to know I read all of them, and they all make me happy. And I don't want you to stop that on the text machine or anything else. But I do want you to understand there may be times that I don't respond just because I have to take breaks from this stuff now in a way that I haven't in the past. And so I just hope people who are being positive, which is 99% of the people, won't sort of take that personally, because it's just what I need to do for my own health. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you later.
All right, brother. Thank you.